Find your calm now, right here, right now. You are exactly where you need to be. Pause. Breathe. Notice the quiet space within and around you, without judgment. This moment holds everything you seek. Share with us in the comments. What time is it where you are? What place holds your presence right now? And what gentle thought or feeling are you reflecting on? Let this shared stillness anchor you. Now, let's gently turn our attention to mindful breathing for instant calm. Find stillness in the quiet space between thoughts. Feel the gentle rise and fall of your chest, the soft movement of your belly as you breathe. No need to change it, just notice. The cool air entering your nostrils, the warmth as you exhale. This natural rhythm is always here, a steady anchor beneath the surface of your busy mind. When worry whispers or anxiety tightens your chest, your breath is the immediate refuge. Simply return to this simple sensation. Feel the air flow in. Feel it flow out. Let the breath become your soft anchor in the present moment, pulling you gently away from the storm of what if or what was. It is not about stopping thoughts, but about noticing the breath beneath them. A constant point of calm. Imagine a monk named Kenji sitting beneath an ancient cherry tree in a small garden. Rain falls softly, a quiet rhythm matching his own breath. A thought arises, the harvest is late, the rice fields may fail. He feels the familiar tightness in his shoulders, the pull of worry, but then he feels his breath again, cool and steady. He doesn't push the thought away. He simply returns to the feeling of air entering his lungs, the slight expansion of his ribs. The thought about the harvest lingers, then softens, like a cloud passing through clear sky. He remains grounded in the breath, the rain, the earth beneath him. His worry doesn't vanish, but its power fades because he is not lost in it. He is present, breathing, and that is enough. This is your practice, right now. Sit comfortably, eyes softly closed or lowered. Bring your attention to the natural flow of your breath. Notice the subtle sensations, the slight coolness at the nostrils, the gentle rise of the abdomen, the quiet release. If your mind wanders to a task, a memory, a worry, gently guide it back to the breath, not with force, but with a soft, patient return, like a bird finding its nest. This is not about achieving perfect stillness. It is about the gentle act of returning again and again to the anchor of your own breath. Each return is a small victory, a building block of calm. Do this for just 5 minutes each day. Sit with your breath, not striving for anything, simply being present with the simple, reliable rhythm of your life. This small gift of 5 minutes is a foundation for a calm that grows within you, not something you seek outside. as you practice this simple act of returning to your breath, you begin to notice something profound. Thoughts arise, clear, fuzzy, urgent, or fleeting. They come like leaves carried by a stream. You see them, you feel them, but you don't have to grasp them, chase them, or let them pull you under. The breath remains, a steady presence beneath the surface of the current. You observe the thought pass like a cloud moving across the sky, without judgment, without needing to fix it. This quiet observation, born from the calm foundation of mindful breathing, is the beginning of seeing thoughts as they are, not as they seem. As you become familiar with the breath, you'll notice how thoughts arise and pass, leading us to observe them without judgment. Let your awareness settle softly as you breathe, feeling the quiet rhythm of your own presence. Now, gently extend this calm into the world around you. When worry begins to gather like mist, anchor yourself not by pushing it away, but by noticing what is already here, right now. Engage your senses to ground you in the present moment. Look around with soft eyes and notice 3 things you see. Perhaps the pattern of light on the floor, the curve of a leaf, or the distant shape of a hill. Listen with open ears and hear 2 sounds you might not have noticed before. The gentle rustle of leaves, the soft drip of water, or the distant hum of life. Feel one sensation on your skin or body, the coolness of air, the support of your seat, or the quiet weight of your own hands resting. This simple practice, 3 sights, 2 sounds, 1 feeling, creates an immediate sense of stability. It is not about escaping worry, but about finding solid ground within it. When the mind races with what might be, you return to what is, here and now. The stone beneath your feet, the breath in your lungs, the sound of a bird passing by. These are not distractions, but anchors. They remind you that the present moment is always available, always steady, always enough. You might notice your hands resting on your knees, the warmth of sunlight through the window, or the quiet hum of the refrigerator in the kitchen. Each time you pause to name these simple truths, you soften the grip of anxiety. You step off the wheel of worry and into the deep, quiet river of the now. This is not a grand effort, but a gentle return. It requires no special skill, only a willingness to look, listen, and feel as you are. When the mind wanders into the past or future, the sensory anchor is always ready. You do not need to wait for perfect stillness. You can do this while waiting for the bus, walking through the park, or sitting at your desk. The practice is in the noticing, not the perfect focus. You might find yourself noticing the blue of the sky, the sound of rain on the roof, and the smooth surface of your coffee cup. 3 things, 2 sounds, 1 feeling. This is how you return without force, without judgment, simply by turning toward what is real. You are not trying to fix anything. You are simply remembering where you already are. The worry may still be there, but it no longer holds you. You are in the garden, not lost in the storm. With sensory grounding, you'll naturally observe thoughts without getting caught in them, guiding us to the next step. Find a moment of quiet within your day, just for this breath. Let your body settle gently, not forcing stillness, but allowing it to arise naturally. Close your eyes softly or soften your gaze downward, and bring your awareness to the simple, steady rhythm of your breathing. Feel the cool air entering your nostrils, the gentle rise of your chest or abdomen, the warmer air leaving your body. This is not about controlling the breath or making it deeper. It is about simply noticing its natural flow with complete attention. Let go of any effort to shape it, to hold it, or to make it perfect. Just observe the sensation as it is, without adding a single thought of how it should be. There is no need to fix anything here. The air comes, the air goes. Your only task is to be fully present with that movement, right now. This practice, this simple act of breathing with full attention, is the bedrock of presence. It is not a complex technique requiring hours of study. It is as natural as the air itself, yet it builds a profound capacity within you. When you anchor your entire awareness in the physical sensation of each inhale and exhale, you create a steady point of reference in the midst of life's constant movement. Thoughts may still arise, as they always do, but now you have a solid foundation beneath them. You are not swept away by the current because you are already resting in the deep calm of the riverbank. This is the quiet strength that comes from being fully here, not elsewhere, not in the past or future, but in the exact point of contact between your body and the air. Imagine a mountain standing in a gentle breeze. The wind moves through the trees, rustles the leaves, carries distant sounds. The mountain does not struggle against the wind, it simply holds its steady presence. It observes the movement without being moved itself. Your breath is like that mountain's steady presence within you. The air flows in and out. The sensations change, yet your awareness remains grounded, calm, and unshaken. You are not the breath, you are the awareness that rests within the breath. This is the essence of being fully present. It is not about emptying the mind, but about filling your awareness with the simple, undeniable reality of this moment. Now, take one slow, deep breath with this intention. Feel the coolness at the entrance, the slight expansion within, the warmth as you release. Let your focus rest entirely on that sensation, letting everything else soften into the background. If your mind wanders, as it naturally will, gently return to the feeling of the air moving through you. No judgment, no frustration, just the soft, patient return, like a leaf drifting back to still water. This is not a performance. It is a simple, natural act of coming home to yourself. In this quiet attention to the breath, you discover a deep wellspring of calm that was always there, waiting beneath the surface of worry. As you practice this gentle, unwavering focus on your breath, you will begin to notice something remarkable. Thoughts will still arise, clear and vivid, like clouds passing across a vast, clear sky. But now, you will see them differently. You will observe them without needing to chase them away or hold on to them. You will recognize them as passing phenomena, not as truths that must be acted upon. This is the natural preparation for the next step, learning to watch thoughts with the same quiet, non-judgmental presence you bring to your breath. The foundation of presence, built in this simple act of breathing, will allow you to rest fully in the rhythm of now, free from the weight of worry. Imagine the quiet hum of your kitchen as you begin the simple act of washing dishes. The water runs clear and cool, filling the basin. Instead of letting your mind drift to tomorrow's tasks or yesterday's worries, bring your full attention here, now. Feel the water's temperature against your skin. Notice the slippery smoothness of the soap. Hear the gentle splash as plates meet the basin. Let the sound of running water become your anchor, grounding you firmly in this moment. There is no need to force calm. Simply notice the sensations as they arise, the cool touch, the soft sound, the rhythm of your hands moving. This is not about doing more. It is about being fully here, in the ordinary flow of your day. In Zen tradition, a master once observed his student washing dishes. The student was distracted, thinking of his next errand, his mind restless. The master said nothing, but as the student continued, the master gently pointed to the water's flow. "See how the water moves without resistance?" he asked. "It is not trying to be somewhere else. It simply is." The student paused, felt the cool water again, heard the steady sound, and for the first time, truly saw the dish in his hands. In that small shift, the weight of worry lifted. The water did not carry the past or the future. It was simply water, flowing. You can find that same simplicity in your own hands. Choose one ordinary task: pouring tea, walking to the mailbox, even folding laundry. Do it with the same gentle focus. Notice the warmth of the teacup, the texture of the fabric, the sound of your own footsteps. Let your senses be the guide, not your thoughts. This practice transforms the mundane into the sacred. Washing dishes becomes a meditation, not because it is special, but because you are fully present within it. You are not avoiding worry, you are letting it be, while your attention rests in the clear water, the steady sound, the quiet movement of your hands. There is no need to judge the thought that arises, "I should be doing something else." Simply notice it, like a cloud passing through the sky, and return to the feeling of the water, the sound of the tap. This is the heart of mindfulness, not forcing stillness, but resting in the natural rhythm of the present moment. It is a gentle return, again and again, to what is already here. You may find that after a few days of this, the practice begins to ripple through your day. When you notice your hands washing dishes with full awareness, you begin to notice other moments too, the breath in your lungs, the light on the wall. The mind still has its thoughts, but you are no longer swept away by them. You see thoughts as passing clouds, not as commands. This quiet observation, cultivated in the simple act of washing dishes, prepares you for the next step, seeing thoughts without judgment, just as you see the water flowing. When you practice mindfulness in daily routines, you will naturally begin to observe thoughts without judgment, moving us to the next chapter. In the quiet space you've cultivated through mindful breathing, where the breath anchors you gently in this moment, a new possibility unfolds. Now, as thoughts arise, perhaps a worry about tomorrow, a memory of yesterday, or a fleeting judgment, they need not pull you away from this calm center. Instead, notice them as passing events in the sky of your mind, not as facts that must be acted upon or commands that must be obeyed. See thoughts as clouds drifting across a vast, open sky, appearing, shifting, and dissolving without needing your permission or resistance. This gentle noticing is not about stopping thoughts, but about creating a soft space around them, a space where you are no longer the thought, but the aware presence observing it. To begin, simply acknowledge the thought without adding to it. When a worry about a meeting arises, don't chase it or dismiss it. Softly name it, worrying. When a memory surfaces, gently say, remembering. When a thought about what others think comes, judging. This small act of labeling is not a mental task. It is a quiet invitation to step back. It's like seeing a leaf floating down a stream. You observe its movement without trying to hold it or push it away. You might notice tension in your shoulders as a thought about work appears. But instead of tightening further, you breathe and softly say, worrying. The tension doesn't vanish instantly, but the grip of the thought loosens. You realize this is just a thought, not my truth. This practice is beautifully simple, yet profoundly transformative. It requires no special skill, only a willingness to pause and look with kindness. Imagine sitting in a garden, watching leaves fall. You don't try to catch each one or tell them where to go. You simply see them fall, noticing their shape, their color, their path. Your thoughts are like those leaves, each unique, each passing. When you label worrying or thinking, you're not judging yourself for having the thought. You're simply noticing its nature. This creates a gentle distance between you and the thought, a space where you can choose your response rather than react automatically. The power of worry diminishes because you no longer believe the thought is the only reality. Try it now, as you listen. Notice the next thought that arises, perhaps about a task, a person, or a small concern. Don't chase it. Don't argue with it. Simply observe it and softly name it. Thinking or worrying. Feel how the thought seems to shift, to become less solid, less urgent. You are not your thoughts. You are the awareness that holds them. This is the quiet strength of mindfulness. It doesn't erase the mind, but it changes your relationship to it. The mind becomes a clear river, not a raging storm. And in that clarity, worry loses its grip. As you practice this gentle observation, you'll begin to see thoughts not as permanent fixtures, but as temporary visitors. They arrive, they stay for a moment, and they leave, just as clouds move across the sky. You no longer need to chase them or fear their departure. You simply rest in the spacious awareness that holds them all, knowing that this moment, with its thoughts and sensations, is already complete. This is the heart of observing the mind without judgment, seeing thoughts as they are, without adding layers of resistance or belief. And as you see this clearly, you'll naturally move toward understanding their true nature, fleeting, empty of fixed substance, and always passing. This gentle shift from worry to observation is where peace begins to settle in the quiet space within. Feel the quiet hum of the present moment as you sit here now. Notice the gentle rise and fall of your breath, the soft sounds of the world around you, the space between thoughts. This calm awareness, cultivated through mindful presence in ordinary tasks, is the quiet ground from which we now observe the mind. In this stillness, thoughts arise not as commands but as weather passing through the sky of your awareness. Imagine them as clouds drifting across an endless, open sky. A thought of worry appears, perhaps about what might happen tomorrow, or a concern from yesterday. See it as a cloud forming, moving across the vastness of your mind. Do not chase it with urgency. Do not push it away with resistance. Simply notice its shape, its color, its fleeting presence. It arrives without invitation. It stays for a moment, and then it dissolves, leaving the sky clear once more. This is the key insight. Thoughts are not facts, they are temporary phenomena, like clouds. They do not define your reality, your worth, or the nature of the world. When you see a thought as a cloud, you dissolve the illusion that it holds power over you. It is not a command to act, nor a truth to believe. It is simply a passing event within the spacious awareness. You are not the cloud. You are the sky itself, vast and undisturbed by the clouds that drift through it. This is not about emptying the mind, but about changing your relationship to what arises. Instead of wrestling with the cloud, you rest in the sky. The worry about an unfinished task, a cloud. The fear of a future outcome, a cloud. The memory of a past mistake, a cloud. Each one appears, carries its weight for a moment, and then gently vanishes, as if it was never there at all. This observation requires no effort, only gentle attention. Place your awareness on the breath, the anchor in the present. When a thought arises, acknowledge it with a soft, silent ah, or simply cloud, then return to the breath. You are not suppressing the thought. You are not feeding it with worry. You are simply allowing it to move through the open space of your awareness. This practice is not for the future. It is for this very moment, right now. Feel the relief as the grip of the thought loosens. See how the energy of worry fades when you stop chasing it or fighting it. The mind naturally returns to its calm state, like the sky after the cloud passes. This is the quiet power of non-judgment. It doesn't make the clouds disappear, but it frees you from the storm they seem to bring. You begin to understand that thoughts, like clouds, are inherently impermanent. They do not last. They do not define. They simply are. Seeing thoughts as clouds reveals their impermanent nature, guiding us to understand change as comfort. Close your eyes for a moment. Breathe in slowly, feeling the air fill your lungs. Breathe out, releasing any tightness. Notice the space around you, the quiet hum of the present. This is where we meet worry, not as an enemy to fight, but as a visitor passing through the sky of your awareness. In the last chapter, we learned to see thoughts as clouds drifting across a vast, clear sky. Now, we turn our gentle attention to worry itself, the densest cloud that often seems to block the sun. When that familiar tightness, that anxious pull towards what might be, arises within you, pause. Ask softly, almost like a whisper to yourself, is this a cloud or a mountain? This simple question is the key. A cloud is temporary, shaped by wind, changing color, moving on. A mountain is solid, permanent, something you cannot easily move or change. Worry. When we mistake it for a mountain, becomes a heavy burden we carry. But it is not a mountain. It is a cloud, appearing and dissolving. Let us observe this cloud of worry. Notice its shape as it forms in your mind. Does it feel heavy and dark, like storm clouds gathering? Or is it thin and wispy, like distant mist? What color does it hold? Gray, perhaps, or tinged with fear. How does it move? Does it swirl and churn, or settle like a slow, heavy rain? See it not as a command to act upon, but as a phenomenon passing through the spacious awareness of your mind. Feel the space around it, the clear sky that remains even as the cloud drifts by. This is the practice, to watch the cloud of worry without grasping it, without believing its story, without trying to push it away or hold it tightly. There is no need to judge the cloud as bad or good. It simply is a natural part of the weather of the mind. When we see it clearly as a passing cloud, not a mountain, its power to bind us begins to soften. The frantic energy of what if starts to lose its grip. The tightness in your chest eases because you realize this feeling is here now, but it is not my permanent home. Imagine a Zen monk sitting under an ancient tree during a brief rainstorm. The rain falls. The wind stirs the leaves. A dark cloud moves swiftly across the sun. The monk does not rush to find shelter, nor does he curse the rain. He simply observes the cloud passing, the coolness of the rain on his skin, the sound of water on leaves. He feels the rain, but he does not become the rain. He is the stillness beneath the weather. This is the same stillness within you, the awareness that holds the passing cloud of worry without being defined by it. You are not the worry. You are the space in which the worry appears and fades. Now, take this awareness into your next moment. When worry arises, that familiar knot in your stomach, the anxious thought about tomorrow, pause. Feel your feet on the ground. Take one slow breath. Ask, is this a cloud or a mountain? Then, gently, notice the cloud, its shape, its color, how it moves through your awareness. Feel the spaciousness around it. See it as a temporary weather pattern, not a permanent landscape. This noticing, this soft observation without resistance, is how the power of worry dissolves. It is not about stopping worry, but about changing your relationship with it. You see it clearly as it is, and it loses its ability to control your present moment. Recognizing worry as a passing cloud, not a mountain, makes it far easier to let go of the future fears that bind us. It prepares the mind to rest gently in the present, ready to meet the next moment with openness and calm. The sky is always clear, even when clouds drift through. Feel the quiet space between your thoughts. Notice how the mind often gathers invisible weights, perhaps the quiet insistence, I must succeed, or the unspoken fear, I must be perfect. These thoughts feel heavy, like stones carried in a pocket, yet they are not yours to hold. They arise, they pass, like clouds drifting across a vast sky. Today, let us gently place that weight down. Sit softly, breathing naturally. Notice the burden in your body, perhaps a tightness in the shoulders, a knot in the chest. Breathe in, feeling the weight, feeling its presence without resistance. Breathe out, releasing it with a soft sigh, and whisper quietly to yourself, "This is not mine to carry." Feel the words settle into the breath, dissolving the grip. This is not about forcing it away, but about recognizing what truly belongs to you, the calm awareness holding the space for the burden to release. It is a simple act of letting go, returning to the quiet strength of your own presence. Consider the old Zen monk sitting by the river. He holds a single cup of tea, steam rising gently. A heavy worry about the harvest has settled on his mind, a familiar ache. He sets the cup down, not with frustration, but with quiet attention. He takes a slow breath in, feeling the worry's shape. He breathes out, and as he does, he says nothing, simply allowing the thought to unfurl and drift away. He picks up the cup again, the tea still warm, the river still flowing. The worry did not vanish because he ignored it. It released because he stopped carrying it. The space he created was not empty. It was filled with the simple warmth of the tea, the sound of the water, the present moment. That is the lightness we seek. Now, bring this to your own breath. Find one burden you hold today. It might be small, a worry about a conversation, a task yet to be done. Place your hands gently on your knees or your lap. Breathe in, feeling where the weight lives in your body. Breathe out, and with that exhale, say softly, "This is not mine to carry." Feel the tension soften, the grip loosen. Notice the space that opens up, a space where worry could not fit before. Feel the lightness in your chest, the ease in your shoulders. This is not an escape from life, but a return to it. You are not carrying what is not yours. You are simply being here, now, with the quiet strength of your own breath. Releasing burdens now creates the space to embrace impermanence as comfort in change. Look around you. Feel the gentle shift of air against your skin, the subtle movement of light through the window, the quiet rhythm of your own breath. This moment, exactly as it is, holds a quiet truth we often overlook. Everything flows. The weather shifts from sun to cloud. Emotions rise and settle like ripples on water. Circumstances rearrange themselves without warning. Notice how the maple leaf changes color, then falls, not as a loss, but as the natural turn of the season. This constant movement isn't a disruption, it's the very fabric of being. It's not a problem to solve, but the gentle pulse of life itself, the natural rhythm we are part of, not separate from. Imagine sitting by a clear, flowing river. The water is never the same moment to moment. A leaf drifts past. A current shifts. The surface ripples where a fish breaks the surface. You don't fear the water moving, you trust it flows. It doesn't stop to ask permission, yet it carries you safely downstream. This river is not a threat, it is the path. Similarly, the changes in your life, the shift in a relationship, the unexpected turn in your day, the quiet shift of your own thoughts are not signs of danger. They are simply the river flowing. They are the natural state of existence. When we stop fighting this flow, when we stop seeing change as something that must be controlled or avoided, we find a deep, quiet comfort. It is safe to let go because the river carries us, not pulls us under. Change isn't happening to us, it is who we are moving through. This realization dissolves the old fear that we must hold things steady, that we must control the current to feel safe. Safety isn't found in stillness. It's found in the knowing that the flow is natural, that the river always finds its way. So, as you sit here now, gently notice the small changes happening within you and around you. Feel the subtle shift in your breath as you settle deeper into your seat. Notice the way a thought arises and then fades, like a cloud passing across the sky. Feel the temperature change slightly as the sun moves. Don't grasp at the thought. Don't cling to the feeling of warmth. Simply observe it changing, moving on. This is the practice, not resisting the flow, but resting within it. Recognize that the worry about tomorrow, the anxiety about what might change, is itself a passing thought, just like the cloud. It has no permanent form. It is part of the river's current, not the river itself. When you see this clearly, the heavy burden of future fear begins to soften. You don't need to carry it, because you understand it is not solid, it is not permanent. You are not separate from the changing world, you are part of its gentle, safe movement. The comfort isn't in the absence of change, but in the deep knowing that change itself is the ground of safety, the natural rhythm holding all things. As we come to rest in this understanding of impermanence, we find the space to release the grip on what might be, allowing the present moment to unfold with its own gentle ease. This is the path to meeting life, not with fear, but with the quiet confidence of one who knows the river flows safely. Feel the weight of your feet on the earth beneath you. Notice the quiet rhythm of your breath, neither hurried nor held back. This simple anchor is where all anxiety dissolves. We often carry the entire weight of tomorrow in our shoulders, imagining scenarios that have not yet arrived. But what if the question we truly need to ask is not what might go wrong, but rather, what will I need to know when this moment arrives? Imagine yourself pouring tea. The water is hot. The leaves are ready. You do not worry about the taste of the tea 5 minutes from now. You simply hold the cup, feel its warmth, and bring it to your lips. You only need to know how to pour the water now, how to lift the cup now. The future of the tea's flavor is already unfolding within this single, present act. There is no need to grasp at what has not yet happened. This is the gentle release we practice. It is not about ignoring what may come. It is about trusting that when the moment arrives, you will have what you need to meet it. You will not need to know the exact path ahead. You will only need to take the next step with awareness and care. The anxiety that tightens your chest, the restless thoughts about what might be. They are like shadows cast by a light that is not yet here. They have no substance in the space of now. So notice the tension in your jaw as you think about a meeting tomorrow. Feel the tightness in your chest as you rehearse a conversation. Now, breathe in. Breathe out. Let the tension soften. Ask yourself softly, what do I need to know right now to be here, in this breath? And find that you need only this to be present, to meet what is, without adding the weight of what is not. You do not need to control the river's flow. You only need to trust that you can navigate the water when you're in it. The future is not a place you must prepare for with worry. It is a path you will walk, step by step, with the wisdom of the present moment guiding you. This is how impermanence becomes not a threat, but a gentle companion. It is the quiet assurance that you are always exactly where you need to be, with exactly what you need to meet whatever comes. Release the need to hold the future in your hands. Let it be as it will be, without your anxious interference. The space you create by doing this is not empty. It is filled with the quiet peace of the present. It is the space where you truly see the tea in your cup, the light on the wall, the soft sound of your own breath. This is not escape from life. It is the fullness of living within it, without the burden of what has not yet happened. When we stop wrestling with what might be, the present moment becomes a welcome home. It is not a place to wait for something else to happen. It is the only place where life is truly lived, where all that is needed is already here. This gentle release, this trust in the unfolding, guides us to the next practice, fully accepting what is now, with open hands and an open heart. Notice the quiet space between breaths. Feel how the air holds its stillness for a moment before the next movement. This is the natural rhythm we've been learning to trust, not the frantic planning for what might come, but the gentle presence of what already is. Today, we turn our attention to the small moments that hold all the peace we seek. They are not found in grand achievements or distant promises, but in the ordinary, fleeting details of this very moment. Pause now. Notice the sunlight falling across your hand, a single beam of gold on the wooden table, or hear the bird's song outside the window, a brief, clear note that fades as quickly as it came. Feel the warmth of your cup, the simple comfort of liquid held close. These are not distractions from life. They are life itself, offered to us in perfect, impermanent gifts. The Zen master often spoke of the tea ceremony not as a ritual to be performed, but as a practice of being fully present with the steam rising from the cup, the sound of water boiling, the way the heat lingers on the skin. He did not seek peace in the future of a perfect ceremony, but in the precise, fleeting moment of the tea's warmth. This is the key. We worry about the future because we have forgotten how to be with what is here, now. We chase the next milestone, the next feeling, the next version of ourselves that will finally bring peace. But peace is not a destination, it is the ground we stand on, right here. It is the stillness beneath the surface of the river, not the river's destination. Savoring a small moment is not passive, it is an active choice to release the grip on what is not yet here. It is saying yes to this breath, this sound, this warmth, without demanding it last or change. When you truly notice the sunlight on your skin, you are not thinking about tomorrow's weather. You are simply being. This is the practice of impermanence made gentle. The bird's song is gone before you can name it. The steam from your cup cools, yet the peace it brought remains. It is not lost, it is simply part of the flow. You did not hold on to it, so you did not lose it. You simply allowed it to be. This is the comfort of change, knowing that every small moment, however brief, is a gift already given. It is not about waiting for something bigger to be happy. It is about finding joy in the small, perfect, ordinary gift of now. Close your eyes for just a moment. Breathe in. Breathe out. Notice one small thing surrounding you. The sound of your own breath. The coolness of the air on your face. The faint scent of something familiar. Let it fill your awareness completely, without adding anything else. This is where peace lives. Not in the future, not in the past, but here, in this tiny, perfect point of now. When you find yourself noticing the warmth of your cup, the shape of a leaf in the wind, or the quiet hum of a room, you are not avoiding the future. You are simply remembering that you are already whole, already enough, right now. This practice of savoring the small, impermanent gifts of this moment is not a temporary escape. It is the natural ground from which deeper acceptance grows. Finding peace in small moments makes it natural to accept what is now, preparing us for the deeper acceptance that awaits when we stop fighting the river's flow. Imagine the quiet space between your breaths, the soft pause before the next thought arises. This is where we find ourselves now, not in some distant future or past memory, but right here, in the simple reality of this moment. We often chase peace as if it were a destination, a place we must reach by accomplishing more or becoming someone else. Yet the truth, as gentle as the morning light, is that peace is already here, woven into the fabric of the ordinary. It is not found in the future we imagine, but in the quiet act of being fully present with what is. Consider folding a simple cotton shirt. You might do it quickly, mind already wandering to the next task, the next worry. But what if you simply let the soft fabric meet your hands? Feel its cool, smooth surface against your fingertips. Hear the soft, gentle whisper of the fabric as it moves, the quiet rustle as it settles into a neat fold. Notice the rhythm of your hands, the slight pressure as you smooth a crease, the small, deliberate movement. There is no need to rush toward the end of the pile. The task itself becomes the whole point, the only thing that matters right now. This is not just folding laundry. It is a meditation in motion, a deep listening to the present moment. When we fold with full awareness, the ordinary becomes extraordinary. The sensation of the fabric, the sound of our own breath, the quiet focus of the hands, these are not distractions from life, they are life itself, revealed in its true, simple nature. The worry about what might go wrong tomorrow, the regret about what happened yesterday, they dissolve like mist in the morning sun when we anchor ourselves in the tangible reality of this fold, this breath, this quiet space. We realize that the future cannot be grasped, the past cannot be changed, but this moment, this act of folding, this breath, is real and available. It is not a moment to endure until something better arrives. It is the very ground of our being, already whole and complete. This practice is not about forcing calm, but about gently releasing the need to be elsewhere. It is the quiet courage to say, I am here now, and this is enough. As you next fold your laundry, wash your dishes, or even sip your tea, try it. Let your hands move with intention, not speed. Notice the temperature of the water, the scent of the soap, the sound of the cloth against the basin, the warmth of the cup in your palms. Let the task be the path, not the obstacle. Feel the subtle shift as the mind, trained to jump ahead, begins to settle into the quiet hum of the present. The anxiety that clung to the edges of your thoughts like a shadow begins to soften, to lose its grip, as you discover that the peace you seek was never far away, but right here, in the simple act of being fully present. This stillness in the ordinary task, this deep noticing without judgment, reveals something profound. Acceptance is not a distant goal to achieve, but a natural state that is already present within us, simply waiting to be recognized. It is the quiet understanding that life flows, change is constant, And our resistance to what is happening now is the true source of our suffering. When we stop fighting the present moment, when we simply allow it to be as it is, we find that the weight of worry, the ache of regret, begins to fall away. The path forward, then, is not found in avoiding the present, but in fully inhabiting it. One mindful fold, one aware breath at a time. This is how we gently release the past, finding stillness not in some perfect future, but right here, in the ordinary, in the now. Breathe in, breathe out, and feel the quiet space between thoughts. This moment, exactly as it is, holds all the peace you seek. Notice the gentle weight of your body resting, the soft sound of your breath, the quiet hum of the world around you. Now, let us gently turn our attention to the quiet storm we carry within, those future fears that whisper anxieties about what might happen. You might name them softly to yourself. I fear failure. I fear loss. I fear not being enough. These words, spoken in the stillness, are not the enemy. They are simply signals, pointing to a mind that has wandered far ahead of this present moment. Ask yourself now, with the calm of the pond beneath the moon, what can I do about this right now? Not tomorrow, not next week, but right here, right now. Can you take one small, clear breath? Can you notice the ground beneath your feet? Can you simply be present for this single step of your walk? That is the only action required. Everything else, the vast, imagined landscape of what might go wrong, belongs to the future. It belongs to a time that has not yet arrived. Holding it now only tightens the knot in your chest, steals your peace, and makes the present moment feel like a burden instead of a gift. So release it. Release the imagined storm. Release the story of what could be. The future will arrive when it arrives. Your only task is to be fully here, with whatever is present right now. Imagine a simple moment. You are pouring tea. The water is hot. The leaves unfurl. The steam rises. In your mind, a fear bubbles up. I will spill the tea. People will judge me. You feel the tension in your shoulders. But then you pause. You name the fear softly. I fear spilling the tea. Now, you ask, what can I do about this right now? You feel the warm cup in your hands. You notice the sound of the water. You feel the solid floor beneath your feet. You take one slow breath. You pour with gentle attention. The fear is still there, but it has no power to disturb this single act of pouring. You release the worry about the spill, because the spill is not happening now. You are simply pouring tea, and that is enough. The future fear dissolves in the heat of the present action. This practice is not about ignoring reality. It is about meeting reality as it is, right now. It is about realizing that the energy spent worrying about tomorrow is the very energy you could be using to savor today. When you name the fear, ask the question, and release the rest, you create a quiet space within yourself. You step out of the prison of the imagined future and step back into the freedom of this moment. You find that the present moment, when fully experienced, is not empty but deeply full of the quiet strength of simply being here, breathing, aware and unafraid. This space we create now, by releasing future fears, is the very same space that will allow us to gently release past regrets. As we let go of the future, we find the stillness to look back without judgment, seeing the past not as a burden but as a part of the unfolding path. The calm we find in this present moment, this simple act of being fully here, prepares our hearts to move forward, not with fear, but with gentle, clear awareness. This is the path to peace, not in some distant goal, but right here, in the quiet space between one breath and the next. Feel the quiet space between your breaths right now. Notice how the air fills your lungs and then flows out, carrying away the subtle tension you might be holding. This is the natural rhythm of being present. There is no need to chase the future or pull the past into this moment. Let us gently turn our attention to the weight of past regrets, those lingering shadows that can cloud our peace. Many of us carry them like stones in our pockets, feeling the constant, heavy pressure of what might have been. But here is the gentle truth. Regret is not a prison. It is a memory, a lesson learned, and it has already passed. When a regret arises, simply acknowledge it without adding judgment. Say softly to yourself, "I regret that moment, but it is over now." There is no need to relive it or make it heavier. Feel the emotion, perhaps a tightness in your chest, and then breathe into that space. Inhale deeply, allowing the feeling to be present without resistance. Then exhale slowly, releasing the entire sensation with the out-breath. Imagine the regret dissolving like mist in the morning sun, carried away on the breath. It is not that the event did not happen, but that its power to affect your present is only what you allow it to be. A regret is simply a signpost pointing to a choice we made, not a chain binding us to that moment. Think of a simple moment you might regret, like spilling tea on a book you loved. You might feel a pang of disappointment now, but remember, the tea is gone, the book is dry, and the moment has moved on. The spill taught you to hold your cup more carefully, or perhaps it taught you to be kinder to yourself when things go wrong. That lesson remains, but the regret itself is not needed. It is the lesson, not the chain. Now, take a moment to bring your awareness to your own experience. Where is a regret resting in your heart today? Perhaps it is a word spoken too harshly, a chance not taken, a moment of inaction. Feel it rise, Do not push it away, nor cling to it tightly. Simply notice its presence, as you would notice a cloud passing across the sky. Now, breathe in, feeling the space around that feeling. Breathe out, releasing it with the exhale, saying silently, "It is over now." Let it go with the breath, as effortlessly as a leaf drifting down a stream. This is not about forgetting. It is about freeing the present moment from the weight of what is already complete. The past is a river that has flowed by. We cannot step into it again, but we can stand on its bank, water flowing past, and choose to walk forward without carrying the stones we once picked up. Releasing past regrets gently is not an act of forgetting. It is an act of deep respect for the present moment. It is the quiet understanding that the only time we truly have to live, to love, to simply be, is this very breath, this very now. This gentle release of what is no longer ours makes it infinitely easier to accept what is here. Now, it softens the ground beneath our feet, making space for the peace that was always available, waiting for us to let go of the past. With this lightness, we step fully into the present, ready to meet life without the burden of what has already passed. Feel the quiet space around you now. Notice the gentle rise and fall of your breath, the subtle sensation of your body resting on the surface beneath you. This moment, exactly as it is, holds the entire universe. There is no need to shape it, fix it, or push it away. Simply rest within the reality of this very breath, this very feeling, this very presence. The past regrets and future worries that once felt like heavy chains dissolve when met with this simple awareness. You are not fighting against what is, you are meeting it with open hands. Acceptance is not surrender or giving up. It is not saying life should be different. It is the profound freedom found when we stop struggling against the current. It is the deep sigh of releasing the tight grip we hold on how things should be. When you notice the tension in your shoulders, the worry about tomorrow, or the echo of a past mistake, pause. Let the thought pass like a cloud across the sky. Then, softly, silently, say to yourself, "It is what it is, and I'm okay." Feel the weight lift as you stop demanding the present moment be something other than it is. This is not resignation, it is liberation. It is the quiet courage to stand fully in the truth of now, without needing to escape. Imagine a simple tea ceremony. The water boils. The leaves are placed in the pot. The pouring begins. The tea maker does not fret over the temperature of the water yesterday or worry about the taste tomorrow. They are fully present with the steam rising, the sound of the water, the careful movement of the hands. If the water is slightly too hot, they adjust, but they do not curse the heat or despair over a perfect cup. They accept the water as it is, pour with care, and find peace in the act of pouring itself. This is acceptance in action. It is not passive, it is deeply engaged, yet free from the struggle of resistance. The tea is served, and the moment is complete, not because it was perfect, but because it was met with full presence. Now, bring this awareness to your own life right here, right now. Notice the feeling in your hands resting on your lap, the sound of distant birds, the quality of the light in the room. If a thought of the past arises, acknowledge it gently. Ah, there is that memory. Then, return to your breath, to the sensation of your feet on the floor. If anxiety about the future whispers, say softly, "It is what it is, and I am okay." Feel the subtle shift as you stop pulling against the current. This acceptance is not about changing circumstances, it is about changing your relationship to what is already here. It is the gentle kindness you offer yourself when you realize you are safe right now, in this very breath. You are held within the vast, calm space of the present. This quiet acceptance dissolves the very need for the concept of non-attachment we often seek. When you stop struggling against the present, you naturally flow with life as it unfolds. You no longer cling to the past or grasp for a future, because you are fully, peacefully here. The anxiety that came from the battle with reality fades into the stillness of acceptance. This is the deep peace we have been seeking. It is not found in escaping the present, but in meeting it completely, with a heart that is finally free. The path forward is clear, not because we know where it leads, but because we are fully present to take the next step, without fear, without regret. Imagine the quiet rhythm of your breath as you sit here now, not thinking of what has been or what might come. The past is a river that has already flowed past you, and the future is a path yet to be walked. In this very moment, there is no need to carry the weight of either. Let us gently turn our attention to how we can move through life without being tied to its outcomes. Often we act as if the result is the only thing that matters, as if our worth or peace depends on a specific end. We say we will do our best, yet we remain caught in the worry of whether it will be enough, whether it will succeed. This is the mind clinging to a single outcome, like holding a single leaf while the whole forest of life moves around it. Consider the potter shaping clay on a spinning wheel. The potter does not fixate on the perfect bowl they might create, nor do they worry if the clay cracks or the form seems imperfect. They simply feel the cool, yielding earth beneath their hands, listen to the steady hum of the wheel, and respond to the clay's nature in this very moment. They focus on the action of shaping, the presence of their touch, the flow of the movement. The bowl that emerges is a gift from the process itself, not a requirement they must force into being. If it holds water well, that is a blessing. If it cracks, that too is part of the truth of the moment. The potter is free because they are not waiting for a future result. They are fully present in the making. This is the essence of non-attachment to outcomes. It is not about indifference or giving up. It is about seeing that the result is simply a part of the unfolding, not the master of our actions. When we release the grip on what we want the outcome to be, we are freed to engage fully with what is happening now. We can plant the seed with care, tend the garden with attention, speak with kindness, knowing the harvest is not ours to control. We act from a place of presence, not from fear of failure or hunger for success. The worry about the outcome dissolves like mist under the morning sun, leaving only the clear space of the present moment. So take a gentle pause now. Notice the next small action you're about to take. Perhaps it is writing a sentence, making a cup of tea, or simply sitting quietly. Feel the intention in your hands, the awareness in your breath. Do not ask what will come of it. Do not picture the perfect result. Simply do the action itself with your full attention. Feel the weight of the cup, the smoothness of the pen, the quiet rhythm of your own breathing. This is the gift of the present moment, offered to you now without condition. The outcome is already included in the doing. It is not separate. When we no longer cling to what might be, the present moment becomes our natural refuge. We stop seeking peace in some future state and find it resting in the quiet, steady act of being here, now, fully awake. The path of non-attachment is not a distant goal. It is the simple, profound choice to meet each moment as it is, without demanding it be otherwise. This is the peace that arises when we let go of the need to control what cannot be controlled and find our home in the only place we ever truly are. Imagine the quiet space between thoughts, the space where worry cannot exist. When the mind feels crowded with what has been or what might be, remember this: the present moment is always here, waiting for you like an open door. It is not a place you must reach, but a place you are already standing within, even now. This is not escape into a fantasy, but a gentle homecoming to what is real and true. When the world feels heavy, return to the simplest anchor, the rhythm of your breath or the feeling of your feet on the ground. Breathe in, feel the air cool your nostrils. Breathe out, notice the slight release. This is not a technique to fix anything, but a quiet return to your true home. Say it softly to yourself, or simply feel it in your bones: this is my refuge. The rain falls on the window pane outside. It does not ask permission to be here, nor does it worry about where it came from or where it will go. It simply is a part of the moment. The water moves, the light shifts, the moment changes, yet the rain is always part of the now. You are like the rain, always part of this moment, always safe within it. The present moment is not something you find after you stop worrying. It is the very ground where worry dissolves. It is always available, no matter how tangled your thoughts become. You do not need to create calm. You only need to remember that calm is already here, woven into the fabric of this breath, this touch, this sound. Notice how often you pull away from this moment, chasing a future that has not yet come or reliving a past that is gone. You might think you need to reach a different place, a calmer state, to find peace. But peace is not a destination you arrive at after the storm passes. It is the very ground you stand on, beneath your feet, even as the storm rages. The refuge is not in avoiding the storm, but in feeling the rain on your skin, the strength of the earth under you. This is the wisdom of the Zen mind, to meet the rain without resistance, to feel its coolness, its sound, its presence, and know that this is where safety lives. You are not escaping the storm. You are finding your home within it. So, take this moment. Feel the weight of your body resting in your chair, or the air moving across your skin. Notice the sound of distant traffic, the hum of a light, the quiet space between sounds. When the mind pulls you toward worry about tomorrow, gently return to this breath. Let the worry be a cloud passing through the sky of your awareness, but do not chase it. Stay with the feeling of your feet on the floor, the rise and fall of your chest. This is not ignoring life's challenges. It is meeting them with the clear eyes of the present. You are not running from anything. You are simply remembering where you belong. This is the quiet strength that arises when you stop searching outside yourself for peace and rest in the simple reality of now. This gentle return to the present moment is the quiet foundation for ending worry. It is not about forcing thoughts away, but about recognizing that worry is a story built on a future that does not yet exist. When you anchor in the felt sense of this moment, the breath, the sound, the touch, you see worry for what it is, a shadow cast by a future that has not yet arrived. This awareness, this deep knowing of your refuge here, makes it easier to see the roots of worry clearly. It guides you, without force, to the next practice, meeting life's unfolding with a heart that is already at home. Breathe in, feel the air moving through you. Breathe out, release the need to hold on. This simple act of breathing brings you back to the only place you can ever truly be, the present moment. We have carried the weight of later for so long, believing that peace or safety lies ahead, in some future state we must reach. But the truth is far simpler, far closer than we imagine. The refuge we seek is not a destination to be found, but the ground beneath your feet, right here, right now. The worry about what comes next, the regret about what has passed, these are just thoughts passing through the mind, not the reality of your being. When you drop the idea of later and simply rest in this moment, the heavy burden of anxiety begins to soften. to dissolve. Imagine sitting by a small Zen garden on a quiet morning. Rain has just stopped, and a single drop clings to a maple leaf. You notice its perfect circle, the way it trembles before falling. There is no thought of the next drop, no planning for the afternoon. You're simply seeing the drop, feeling the cool air, hearing the distant birds. This is not forced concentration, it is natural presence. The leaf, the drop, the air, they are all here, complete in themselves, requiring no explanation or future promise. In this noticing, the mind stops its frantic searching. The need to distract yourself with thoughts of the past or future simply falls away. You're not trying to become calm, you are simply being present, and in that being, calm arises naturally. It is not something you must achieve. It is the very nature of your awareness when it is not caught in the current of what if or what was. This is the gentle, profound practice of saying to yourself, softly, without judgment, I'm here, and this is enough. Not, I will be here when the work is done, not, this will be enough when I have more, but simply, I am here now, and this moment, exactly as it is sufficient. It is a quiet revolution within the mind. When you fully embrace the now, this breath, this sound, this feeling of your body resting on the cushion, the need for distraction vanishes. The mind, no longer grasping for something else, finds its own natural stillness. The world does not change, your relationship to it does. You stop fighting the present moment and instead, you rest within it, as a river rests within its banks. So try it now, for a single breath. Feel your feet on the floor, the weight of your body supported. Notice the sound of your own breathing. Let the thought, I should be somewhere else, simply fade like a cloud passing through the sky. There is no need to do anything else. You are already home. This moment, with all its ordinary beauty and quiet simplicity, is not a temporary state to be replaced. It is your true nature, already at peace. The practice is not about adding something new, but about letting go of the illusion that you're not already whole, already safe, already here. When you fully embrace the now, the end of worry is not something you achieve in the future. It is the simple, quiet realization that worry was never your home to begin with. Embracing the now fully prepares you to find worry-free moments daily in your life. Close your eyes for just a moment. Feel the gentle weight of your body resting, the quiet rhythm of your breath. This is not a place to arrive at, it is already here, beneath your feet, surrounding you, in this very instant. You are safe. No need to chase peace into the future. No need to carry the weight of yesterday's worries. The refuge you seek is simply this present moment, fully felt, fully known. It is not something you must build, It is already the ground you stand on. This is the foundation laid in the previous moments, now deepening. Now, let us gently practice this knowing in the ordinary, not through grand gestures, but through one small, ordinary moment each day, claimed with full attention. It might be the warmth of your hands cradling the morning cup, the steam rising gently as you sip your coffee, or perhaps it is the sound of rain on the window pane, the quiet hum of the refrigerator, the way sunlight falls across the floor at noon. Choose one such small moment, not to escape, but to simply be there, fully present within it. When you truly are with the warmth of the cup, the taste of the coffee, the slight sound of the spoon against the ceramic, something shifts. The constant undercurrent of worry. What if? When will this end? I should be doing more, begins to soften. It doesn't vanish with a snap, but it loses its grip. It fades like mist under the morning sun, because your attention is no longer feeding it. You're not thinking about the meeting later. You are feeling the heat, the aroma, the simple act of drinking. In this full presence, worry finds no room to breathe. It simply dissolves in the clarity of what is right here, right now. This is the quiet, powerful practice. Not a single perfect moment, but the gentle habit of returning. Each time you notice the steam rising, each time you feel the sun on your skin, each time you truly hear a bird sing, you are strengthening a new path. You are training your mind to recognize its natural home. You're building, brick by quiet brick, a habit of peace. It is not the absence of thought, but the presence of awareness that holds thought gently, without clinging. These small, intentional moments of being fully here are the seeds of a deeper, unshakable calm. They remind you, again and again, that safety is not found in avoiding the present, but in fully inhabiting it. So, as you move through your day, look for that small moment. It is always available. The next time you pour your coffee, let the ritual be your anchor. Feel the weight of the mug, the heat, the rich smell. Notice the first sip. Let the worry about the day ahead simply fall away as you simply taste the coffee. Feel the calm that arises not from having no problems, but from being fully here with them. This is how peace becomes a natural state, not a distant goal. It is woven into the fabric of your ordinary days, one small, present moment at a time. This simple practice of finding refuge in the small moments, of noticing worry fade when you are fully present, is the very foundation. It is the gentle, consistent thread that weaves through all your days, making the end of worry not a sudden event, but a natural unfolding of awareness. This is where we begin to integrate the peace we find in the present moment, making it the very ground of our daily life. Now, let this awareness deepen within you as you carry this quiet understanding forward. Sit with your breath for a moment. Feel the simple rhythm of air entering, air leaving. This very breath, this present sensation, is your truest refuge. Now, notice the quiet hum of worry that sometimes rises within you. Not as a storm demanding your attention, but as a subtle sensation in your body, perhaps a tightness in your shoulders, a flutter in your chest, a heat beneath your skin. Gently observe this feeling without naming it or fighting it. It is merely a passing energy, not a command to be obeyed. Ask yourself softly, is this worry truly helpful in this exact moment? Does it guide you toward what needs doing now, or does it only pull you into the imagined future? Often, the answer is no. The worry you carry about what might happen is not serving you here, now, with your breath and your feet on the ground. Let it be. Let it pass like a cloud drifting through the vast, open sky. No need to grasp it. No need to chase it. No need to argue with its presence. Simply allow it to be what it is, a temporary cloud, not a permanent storm. Imagine the quiet moment of making tea. You pour hot water over leaves. Steam rises, warm and soft. You notice the steam on your skin, a gentle warmth, and then it simply moves on, leaving no trace. Your worry, like that steam, is a natural occurrence within your awareness. It appears, it has a sensation, and then it dissolves into the space of your calm attention. You don't need to hold on to it. You don't need to fuel it with more thoughts. You simply return to the warmth of your breath, the solidity of your seat, the quiet hum of the present moment. This is the practice. Not pushing worry away, but seeing it clearly as a bodily sensation, not a truth. Not resisting it, but asking if it serves you today. Not clinging to it, but letting it flow through you like the steam through the air. When you notice the tightness in your jaw, breathe into that space. When the mind races with what ifs, feel the physical sensation of that racing. Then gently ask, is this helpful now? And then, with kindness, let it go. It is not your job to solve every possible worry. Your job is to be here, now, with what is. You might find that as you practice this, the grip of worry loosens not through force, but through the simple, profound act of returning to the felt sense of the present. You return to the weight of your body in the chair, the sound of the wind outside, the quiet stillness beneath the noise. The worry does not vanish because you try to make it vanish. It fades because you stop feeding it with your attention, because you remember your true refuge is already here. In this breath, this moment, this body. This gentle awareness is not something you do once. It is the quiet, steady current of your life. Each time you notice worry as a sensation, each time you ask if it's helpful now, each time you let it pass like a cloud, you are weaving a deeper sense of safety into the fabric of your days. You're learning that peace is not found by escaping the present, but by fully inhabiting it exactly as it is. Ending worry through awareness is not a distant goal. It is the quiet practice you begin right now, with this breath, with this feeling in your body. It is the way you move through your day, carrying this calm awareness like a steady light. As you move through your day, this awareness will guide your steps, your words, your very presence. It will be the quiet knowing that the refuge you seek is always here, already present, waiting for you to notice. As the gentle awareness of your breath settles within, a quiet shift occurs. The restless energy of worry, once felt as a heavy weight, begins to soften. It doesn't vanish through force, but through the simple, profound act of being fully here. This is the natural path, carrying the stillness found in breath into the movement of your body. Now, let us explore how walking, a motion as common as breathing, becomes a doorway to this presence. Walk slowly, not hurried, not lost in thought, but with a tender care for each small action. Notice the subtle lift of your foot, the quiet release of tension as it leaves the ground. Feel the gentle movement through your leg, the soft air brushing against your skin as you advance. Then, the quiet placement of your foot upon the path, the subtle connection with the earth beneath you. Feel the texture of the ground, smooth stone, cool grass, or the slight give of earth. Sense the air around you, cool or warm, carrying the quiet hum of the world. This is not merely moving from one place to another, it is a moving meditation. The act of walking itself becomes the practice, dissolving the separation between the path and the presence walking it. Imagine a simple scene, a person walking slowly along a quiet garden path at dawn. Their steps are unhurried, each one a conscious choice. They feel the cool morning dew on the stones beneath their feet, the gentle breeze lifting the hair at their temple, the soft rustle of leaves above. They don't chase thoughts of the day ahead or the tasks behind. They are entirely with the lifting, the moving, the placing, the garden, the air. The simple act of walking these become the entire world, the only thing that matters in this moment. There is no need to be anywhere else. The worry that might have clung to them earlier simply fades, like mist dissolving in sunlight, because there is nowhere else to be but here, with each step. This is the practice we carry into the ordinary. It is not reserved for special moments or long sessions. It is found in the simple act of stepping from your chair to the kitchen, or walking the short distance to your mailbox. When you next rise, feel the floor beneath your feet. Notice the slight shift as you move. Feel the air as you step forward. This is not about perfection. It is about the gentle return to awareness, again and again, with each small movement. It is the recognition that presence is not something we find elsewhere. It is already here, in the feeling of your foot meeting the ground, in the breath moving through your body. The worry dissolves not because we stop thinking, but because we remember where we truly are. Carry this quiet awareness with you as you move through your day. Let each step be a soft reminder. The path is here. The ground is here. The breath is here. This mindful movement is not separate from your life. It is the very fabric of it. It is the gentle preparation for the next moment, the next word, the next connection. Walking meditation for presence makes it easy to integrate mindfulness into movement, guiding us to communication. As you move through your day, notice the spaces between your tasks, the moments when you pause before stepping into the next thing. This is where calm lives, not in the busyness of doing, but in the quiet breath between actions. When you pause, truly pause, you create a gentle space to return to yourself. It's not about stopping your life, but about gently touching the present moment before you move forward. Notice your breath as you sit at your desk after finishing a call, or stand by the sink after clearing the table. Feel the natural rhythm of your inhale and exhale. This simple act of pausing is not empty time. It's the fertile ground where presence takes root. You are not resisting the next task. You are simply meeting it with an open heart and an aware mind. Consider the quiet ritual of washing dishes. After placing the last plate in the rack, you might feel the urge to rush to the next chore. Instead, pause. Feel the water on your hands, the cool tile beneath your feet. Take one slow breath. Notice the space between the sink and the counter, the stillness before you reach for the towel. In that pause, the worry about what's next dissolves. You are not chasing the future. You are fully here, with your breath as your anchor. This is the Zen of ordinary life, the profound peace found in the space between actions, not in the actions themselves. The water flows, the dish is dry, and you move with the quiet ease of someone who has already arrived. This is how mindfulness integrates into your day, not as an extra task, but as the very fabric of your movement. You don't need to find time for it. You simply notice the natural pauses already present. When you pause before opening your laptop, before greeting a colleague, before starting the car, you're not slowing down. You are deepening your connection to the moment. The transition becomes a moment of calm, not chaos. The frantic rush to the next thing softens into a gentle flow. You are no longer pulled by the past or the future. You are simply moving through the present, one mindful breath at a time. Try it now. As you read this, notice the space between these words. Feel your breath. There is no need to fix anything. to do anything. Just be here, with the quiet awareness of your own presence. You might notice how often you skip this pause, how you rush from one thing to the next, carrying the weight of what's coming. Today, choose to slow down just enough to feel the space. Notice the temperature of the air, the sound of your breath, the simple fact of being alive in this moment. This small pause is not a delay. It is a gift you give to yourself and to the day ahead. When you move through transitions with this calm, you carry that stillness into everything you do. You no longer approach a conversation with a mind already scattered by the next email or the next errand. Instead, you arrive fully present for the person before you, for the shared moment, for the connection that waits to unfold. This calm, cultivated in the spaces between tasks, becomes the foundation for deeper connection in every interaction. It prepares you to listen without distraction, to speak without haste, to be truly with another in the quiet space of now. And so, as you step into your next activity, carrying this calm within you, you move naturally toward the next chapter, mindful communication, where presence becomes the bridge to others. In the quiet space between words, something remarkable happens. True listening means setting aside your own words, your own need to respond, and simply hearing the other person's presence. It is not about waiting for your turn to speak, but about being fully here with the sound of their voice, the rhythm of their breath, and the unspoken weight in their words. When your partner shares a difficult day, your mind might already be drafting a solution or a shared memory. But in that moment, pause. Notice the subtle tension in your shoulders, the slight tightness in your jaw, the urge to fix. Breathe gently into that space. Let the breath soften the edges of your reaction. The words come. The mind wants to reply. But breathe. Just listen. This simple act, letting go of the need to shape the conversation, creates a bridge of presence between you. It dissolves the distance between me and you and leaves only the shared ground of this moment. You are not listening to respond. You are listening to truly meet. And in that meeting, a deep calm arises, not because the problem is solved, but because both of you are fully here, exactly as you are. This is how communication becomes an act of care, not just exchange. It transforms ordinary talk into a gentle, shared space where both people feel seen and held. Try it now, dear friend, in your next small interaction. When someone speaks, pause before you speak. Feel your feet on the floor, your breath in your chest. Notice where your body holds tension as you listen. Breathe through it. Feel the tightness ease as you release the need to control the conversation. The words flow. You hear them fully, without judgment or distraction. The connection deepens, not through clever words, but through the simple profound act of being present. This is mindfulness in action, a quiet revolution in how we relate to one another. It requires no special time, no special place. It happens in the space between a greeting and a reply, in the pause before you say, "I know how you feel." You are not adding something new to the conversation. You are simply being the calm that the conversation needs. And as you practice this gentle art, you realize that the calm you bring to the conversation is the same calm that arises when you sit quietly with your own thoughts. This deepened connection naturally leads us to turn inward, to explore our own thoughts and feelings with the same mindful attention through the practice of mindful journaling. Imagine the familiar buzz of your phone pulling you from the quiet hum of the present moment. A notification appears, and without thought, your hand reaches for it. This small gesture, repeated countless times a day, can quietly steal your presence, leaving you feeling scattered and restless. Yet the path to reclaiming that presence is simpler than you might think. Before lifting your device, pause. Take just 10 seconds to breathe deeply. Feel the air fill your lungs, then gently release it. In that small space between the urge and the action, a shift begins. This pause is not a delay, it is a gentle return to yourself. Ask yourself softly, do I need this distraction right now? Not later, not when things are quieter, but this very moment. Is it truly necessary? Or is it simply the habit of seeking comfort in the screen? This question, offered with kindness, becomes a doorway. It reminds you that technology, when used with awareness, is a tool to serve your life, not a thief stealing your presence. It is not about abandoning your phone, but about choosing when to engage with it. See the screen not as a magnet pulling you away, but as a clear mirror reflecting your current choice. When you pause and ask, you honor the present moment, the one true place where life unfolds. Consider a simple moment in a cafe. You sit with a friend, the warmth of your tea in your hands, the soft murmur of conversation around you. Your phone buzzes on the table. The old habit whispers, "Check it now," but you feel the breath in your body, the weight of the cup, the sound of your friend's voice. You pause. You breathe. You ask, do I need this distraction right now? The answer is clear. You leave the phone resting on the table, fully present with the person and the space between you. In that choice, the noise of the world softens, and a quiet calm settles, deeper and more real than any notification ever could be. This is the zen of ordinary moments, finding the sacred in the pause before the click. Now, bring this awareness to your own day. The next time your phone buzzes or your screen lights up, feel the impulse, but do not follow it immediately. Pause. Breathe. Ask the simple question. Notice what arises in that space. The subtle shift in your shoulders. The quiet space where worry might have been. This practice is not about perfection. It is about gentle return, again and again. Each time you choose the pause over the pull, you strengthen your capacity to be fully here, exactly as you are. You are not resisting technology. You are remembering your own presence within it. When we reclaim these small moments of attention, we find ourselves more fully present for the people who matter. The stillness cultivated in that pause before checking your phone becomes the very ground for deeper, more attuned connection. The distractions fade, and what remains is the simple, profound gift of being truly here. Imagine the quiet space between your breaths, the gentle hum of stillness within. In this moment, there is no need to chase the future or hold on to the past. We gather here simply to be, to notice how the present moment holds its own profound peace. This is the essence of deepening practice, moving beyond the cushion into the ordinary, where every action becomes a path to awakening. Today, we turn our attention to the simple, sacred act of eating, not as a task to be completed, but as a doorway to presence. Mindful eating begins with a single, deliberate choice to slow down. Place your utensil down after each bite, not to hurry, but to create space. Feel the weight of the fork or chopsticks in your hand, then release it. Now, bring your full attention to the food before you. Notice the aroma rising from the plate, a fragrant whisper inviting you in. Feel the texture of the first bite, crisp, soft, smooth against your tongue. Taste the subtle layers of flavor unfolding, the earthiness of vegetables, the sweetness of fruit, the saltiness that completes the harmony. Do not rush to swallow. Let the sensation linger, fully known. This is not merely eating, it is a quiet meditation of gratitude, a recognition of the countless hands, sun, rain, and care that brought this nourishment to your table. Recall the story of an old Zen monk in a quiet village kitchen. He ate his simple bowl of rice with such deep attention that the steam rising from the bowl seemed to hold the entire morning sun within it. When asked why he ate so slowly, he simply said, "The rice is already here. Why rush to miss it?" His practice was not about adding more time to the meal, but about removing the distraction of worry. He saw the rice, felt its warmth, tasted its simplicity, and in that found the entire universe. There was no need to think about the next meal, the next task, the next worry. Only this rice, this breath, this moment. Now, consider your own next meal. Perhaps it is a piece of fruit, a bowl of soup, a simple sandwich. Before you take the first bite, pause. Feel the weight of the food in your hand. Breathe. Then, let your senses open. Notice the scent. Feel the texture as you chew. Taste the flavors as they reveal themselves. Put your utensil down between bites. This small act, this pause, is not idle time. It is a reclaiming of your awareness, a gentle act of resistance against the constant pull of distraction. In this way, we transform the ordinary into the sacred, turning every meal into a practice of presence. The worry that often clings to us, the stories we tell about what might go wrong or what we might have missed, dissolves when we are fully here, tasting the truth of this moment. This mindful practice in eating is not an isolated act. It is the foundation for deeper connection. As we learn to truly taste the food before us, to meet it with full attention, we begin to understand how to meet the people around us with the same gentle presence. The stillness we cultivate in the quiet act of eating becomes the quiet space we bring to a conversation, to a shared silence, to the simple act of listening without the need to respond. Sensory awareness deepens into relational awareness, guiding us toward mindful listening for deeper connection. So as you take your next bite, let it be an offering. Let it be a reminder that you are already here, already enough, already present. The end of worry is not found in some distant future, but in the simple, profound act of fully tasting this moment, right now. In the quiet space between breaths, where the rustle of leaves and the soft hum of the world fade, we discover the profound simplicity of truly hearing. This is not the listening that plans a response or judges the words, but the deep, open presence that meets another soul without agenda. It begins with a gentle shift, releasing the inner dialogue that races ahead, and instead, resting your full attention in the sound of their voice, the pause before a word, the quiet shift in their expression. You notice the slight tremor of emotion beneath the words, the warmth in their tone when sharing joy, the hesitation before a difficult truth. This is not passive silence. It is an active offering of your whole self, a gift of pure presence that says, without a single word, you matter. I'm here with you now. Imagine sitting with a friend who speaks of a deep worry. Your natural instinct might be to offer advice, to share your own similar experience, or to mentally draft a solution. Instead, you choose to simply listen. You see the slight tightening around their eyes, hear the quiet uncertainty in their voice as they pause. You feel the weight of their words settle in the space between you, not as something to fix, but as something to hold gently. You don't need to fill the silence. It becomes part of the connection. In that moment, your own thoughts about your day, your own worries, gently dissolve. There is only the sound of their voice, the rhythm of their breathing, the shared space of this present moment. You are not waiting to speak. You are simply being present for them. This is the heart of mindful listening. It transforms the ordinary conversation into a sacred space of mutual respect and understanding, where the simple act of being fully heard becomes a profound act of care. This practice is not reserved for grand moments. It happens in the ordinary exchanges of daily life. When your partner shares their day, notice if your mind is already turning towards your own plans, or if you can truly feel the texture of their words. When a colleague expresses frustration, can you hear the underlying stress beneath the words, without immediately jumping to problem solving? It requires patience, a gentle return to the present whenever the mind wanders to crafting a reply or rehearsing a thought. Each time you choose to be fully present, you're not just listening to the other person, you are deepening your own awareness of the fleeting nature of thought and emotion, both theirs and your own. You become a clearer mirror, reflecting their presence back to them. And in that reflection, you find your own calm center. Notice how often your mind is already crafting your response, while the other person is still speaking. This habit of mental preparation creates distance, a subtle barrier between you. Mindful listening dissolves that barrier. It requires no special skill, only the willingness to let go of the need to be heard and to instead open yourself to being truly with the other. It is a quiet revolution within the ordinary exchange, turning a simple conversation into a practice of compassion and connection. As you cultivate this deep listening in your relationships, you also begin to hear yourself more clearly. The space created by truly hearing another becomes the space where you can also hear your own emotions. Not as a storm to be managed, but as a natural flow of energy within the present moment. This quiet awareness, nurtured through listening to others, prepares you to turn that same gentle attention inward, ready for the next step. Mindful journaling to process the feelings that arise, carrying the calm of the present moment into your own inner landscape. As the quiet hum of mindful listening settles within you, a gentle invitation arises to turn inward. You've learned to meet others with full presence, releasing the noise of your own mind to hear their words deeply. Now, this same spacious awareness can guide you to meet yourself with the same kindness. Enter mindful journaling, not as a task to complete, but as a simple, tender conversation with your present moment. The key is to write without judgment, simply naming what is here. You might write, "I feel anxious about the meeting tomorrow, but I am here now, feeling the cool air on my skin." This small phrase becomes a bridge, anchoring you in the present while acknowledging the feeling. There is no need to fix the anxiety, only to notice it with soft curiosity, like watching a leaf drift down a stream. You observe the pattern of worry, the familiar tightness in your chest, without clinging to it or letting it define you. You see it clearly, yet you do not become it. The journal becomes a mirror reflecting your current awareness, not a record of problems to solve. It shows you the landscape of your mind as it is, without distortion. You notice the pattern of worry, the way it arises when deadlines approach. Yet you also notice the quiet breath beneath it, the steady presence that remains even when thoughts swirl. This is not about analyzing or changing your thoughts, but about simply seeing them as they are, like clouds passing across the sky. You write, worry about the project. But the tea is warm in my hands, and in that moment, the worry softens. Not because it disappears, but because you are no longer lost within it. You are here, with the warmth of the cup, the sound of the wind outside, the rhythm of your breath. This practice of noticing patterns without attachment releases the grip of anxiety. It is not about becoming free from worry, but about finding peace within the very space where worry lives. The journal becomes a safe container for emotions, allowing them to be seen and held gently, without the weight of judgment or the need to push them away. You might simply write, "This is how I feel right now," and feel the tension ease as you let it be. It is a profound act of self-compassion, a way to honor your experience without adding the burden of should. As you write these words, you are not just recording thoughts, you are practicing being fully present with yourself, moment by moment. The pen moves slowly, the words flow softly, and with each line, you return to the quiet center of your awareness. This gentle process of reflection, this turning inward with kindness, becomes the natural ground from which mindful movement flows. The emotions processed in the journal, the clarity found in naming the present moment, make it effortless to carry that same awareness into the quiet flow of your body, whether standing, reaching, or simply resting in stillness. The stillness you cultivate in the journal becomes the stillness you move within. Feel the quiet space between breaths as you settle into this moment. The gentle rhythm of your own breathing dissolves the usual chatter of worry, leaving only the soft hum of now. This is the heart of what we cultivate here, not the absence of thoughts, but the quiet awareness that holds them without grasping. In mindful movement beyond walking, we carry this same calm presence into the simple act of stretching, of shifting, of simply being in our bodies. There is no need to force a better form, no pressure to achieve a perfect pose. Instead, move with the patience of a leaf unfolding in the morning light, noticing the subtle shifts in your shoulders, the gentle release in your hips, the quiet strength in your hands as they rest on your knees. Feel the warmth spreading through your arms, the soft resistance of your muscles, the cool air on your skin. Let your attention rest softly on these sensations, without labeling them good or bad, without trying to change them. This is not about improving your movement. It is about fully experiencing it, exactly as it is, right here, right now. The goal dissolves into the simple, profound act of being present. Imagine sitting quietly on your cushion early in the morning, before the day's demands arrive. You begin to stretch your arms slowly upward. feeling the gentle pull in your chest and shoulders. Your breath flows naturally, in and out, matching the slow rise and fall of your arms. You notice a slight tension in your neck, a habit you carry all day. Instead of tensing further to fix it, you simply acknowledge the sensation with tender awareness, a soft tightness, a place where the body holds its story. You breathe into it, not to push it away, but to welcome it as part of this moment. You feel the cool morning air, the solidity of the floor beneath you, the quiet stillness of the room. There is no better stretch to reach, only the rich, detailed reality of this stretch happening. This is how movement becomes a living meditation, a continuous thread of awareness woven through the fabric of your physical being. It is not separate from your practice. It is the practice itself, embodied. Now, carry this awareness into your next ordinary act. As you reach for your cup of tea, notice the weight of it in your hands. Feel the warmth radiating from the ceramic. Observe the steam rising without the thought of, "I should be drinking this now." When you shift in your chair, feel the change in pressure against your back, the subtle adjustment of your spine. Let go of the invisible goal of moving efficiently or correctly. Instead, meet each small action with the same gentle curiosity you brought to your morning stretch. See how the simple act of reaching for a book becomes a moment of connection, a tiny anchor in the present. The worry about what comes next, the echo of what already passed, they fade because you are fully here, in the feeling of the book's texture, the sound of the pages turning. This embodied awareness, cultivated in the quiet space of movement, deepens the stillness we found in mindful listening and the tender compassion of mindful journaling. It is the natural flow of presence into the very bones of our being, transforming the ordinary into the sacred. This quiet, attentive movement is not a technique to master. It is a return to what is already here. A gentle reminder that we are never separate from the peace we seek. As this awareness settles deeper within, it prepares the ground for the next step, where presence becomes a seamless current flowing through every action, guiding us toward more subtle and advanced practices of embodied wisdom. In the quiet space between breaths, where the mind has settled after the gentle flow of mindful movement, there is a natural invitation to turn toward what might feel uneasy. This is not about seeking comfort or rushing to fix what feels difficult. It is simply about noticing the texture of the moment as it is, whether it's a tightness in the shoulders, a knot of anxiety in the chest, or a wave of sadness rising within. The key is to sit with it, not as an enemy to be fought, but as a teacher to be listened to. You might feel a familiar tightness right now, perhaps as you listen. Notice it. Breathe into that space of tightness, not to push it away, but to hold it with the softness of your attention. Say silently or feel deeply, "This is here, and I am safe." This simple phrase is not a denial of the discomfort. but a grounding in your own unshakable presence. The discomfort remains, yet you are no longer separate from it. You are the stillness within which it arises and passes. Consider the ancient story of the monk who sat with a burning foot. A hot ember had fallen onto his foot during his meditation. The heat was sharp, immediate, undeniable. His first impulse was to pull his foot away, to chase the feeling. But he paused. He breathed into the heat, feeling its intensity without resistance. He did not try to make it vanish. He simply observed the heat, the sensation, the fear that flickered in that moment of pure presence. The heat did not disappear, but the fear did. The discomfort became a lesson in non-resistance, a reminder that the flame was not the fire of suffering, but simply the fire of sensation. The monk did not fix the ember. He met the heat with awareness, and the heat lost its power to disturb his peace. This is the essence of sitting with discomfort peacefully. It is not about eliminating the feeling, but about changing your relationship to it. Discomfort is not a sign that something is wrong. It is simply a signal that you are alive, that you are feeling deeply. When you stop fighting it, when you stop labeling it as bad or dangerous, it begins to soften. It stops being a barrier and starts to reveal its own truth. It becomes a teacher showing you where you hold tension, where you cling to the past or fear the future, where you might be overlooking the safety that is already here. So, as you sit now, perhaps with a slight tension in your jaw or a quiet worry about tomorrow, bring your attention to that place. Do not chase it away. Do not judge it. Simply breathe into it. Feel the breath move around the tightness, not to dissolve it, but to honor its presence. Notice how the body might subtly release when you stop fighting. Notice how the mind, when not grasping at solutions, can rest in the simplicity of being. This is not passive resignation. It is active, gentle engagement with life as it is. It is the practice of knowing that you are safe within your own awareness, even when the world feels unstable. The discomfort does not vanish, but your relationship to it transforms. You no longer see it as an enemy to be conquered, but as a friend offering wisdom about your inner landscape. This practice, this gentle turning toward the difficult without resistance, is the quiet foundation for deeper stillness. It is the very ground from which mindful silence blossoms, where the mind becomes so settled, so untroubled by the dance of discomfort, that silence itself becomes a natural expression of peace. When you learn to sit with discomfort peacefully, you discover that inner peace is not something you must chase. It is already present, waiting to be noticed within the space of your own calm breath, making it easier to practice mindful silence for inner peace. Find a quiet space where you can sit undisturbed for a few moments. Settle your body gently allowing your posture to support both alertness and ease. Let your hands rest softly on your lap or knees. Close your eyes if it feels right, or soften your gaze downward. Now, simply begin to breathe as you are, without trying to change it. This is not about achieving calm, but about resting within the calm that already exists beneath the surface of your thoughts. Notice the space between your thoughts. It is there, always present. Even when the mind feels crowded, feel the quiet pause after one thought fades and another begins. This space is not empty, it is full of stillness. Sit with this space, without the need to fill it with another idea, another plan, another worry. Let the silence itself be the focus. There is no task here, no goal to reach. Simply be with the quiet, with the feeling of being held in the present moment. Imagine a monk sitting alone beneath an ancient tree during a light rain. The rain falls steadily. The world continues its rhythm, but the monk sits perfectly still. He does not try to stop the rain or the sound of the drops. He does not chase thoughts of the past or plans for the future. He simply rests in the rain, in the stillness within the sound, in the quiet space between the drops. His silence is not an absence, it is a deep presence, a natural refuge. This is the essence of mindful silence. It is not about forcing the mind to be silent, but about releasing the effort to control it. The silence becomes your refuge, a place where the constant noise of the mind naturally settles, like dust in still water. Feel your body soften as you let go of the need to do anything. Notice how tension dissolves when you stop fighting the present moment. The space between thoughts is where peace lives. It is not a place you go to, it is the place you discover when you stop moving away from what is. There is no need to fix anything here. Just notice the quiet, the space, the simple fact of your presence. Let the sound of your breath, the feeling of your body on the seat, the gentle rhythm of your heart be your anchor. The silence is not empty. It is full of the quiet hum of being alive, right now. This practice is not about escaping discomfort, but about meeting it with the same gentle awareness you bring to the silence. When stress arises, you can return to this space between thoughts, this quiet refuge within. You do not push the discomfort away, you simply notice it. And in that noticing, you find the space where peace can arise. The discomfort remains, but it no longer holds you captive. You are the stillness holding the discomfort, not the discomfort holding you. As this deepened stillness becomes your familiar ground, you may notice a softening within your heart. The constant tension of worry begins to release, not through force, but through the simple act of resting in the present. The silence you cultivated becomes a wellspring of inner peace, a quiet strength that supports you through all of life's moments. This settled awareness, born from simply sitting with silence, naturally opens the heart to a deeper appreciation. As this stillness deepens, you will find your heart naturally turning toward gratitude. Close your eyes gently now. Feel the weight of your body resting softly on the cushion or chair. Notice the steady rhythm of your breath moving in and out, a quiet anchor in the present. This is where we begin, not by forcing calm, but by simply being here, exactly as we are. The ground for gratitude is already beneath our feet, waiting to be noticed. We've learned to rest in the stillness between thoughts, to soften tension without resistance. Now, in that settled space, we turn our attention to the simple, abundant gifts already present. Gratitude is not a grand gesture, but a quiet shift in focus. It dissolves worry not by denying it, but by revealing what is already here, unchanging and available. Worry pulls us toward the future or the past, but gratitude roots us firmly in the now. It is the gentle hand that guides us from the storm of thought back to the calm harbor of this moment. Notice 3 small things you are grateful for right now. Not the big, sweeping moments, but the quiet details of this very hour. Perhaps it is the soft light filtering through the window, the gentle hum of the refrigerator, or the feeling of cool air on your skin. Feel the warmth of gratitude spreading through your chest, a soft, golden glow that settles into your bones. This is not a fleeting feeling. It is a physical sensation, a deepening of peace that arises when we truly see what is already ours. Imagine sitting with a cup of tea. The steam rises in delicate spirals, a silent offering of warmth. You feel the ceramic cup's gentle heat through your palms, a steady, comforting presence. You hear the quiet sigh of the steam, a sound so ordinary it is often missed. In this simple act, you notice 3 things: the steam's fleeting dance, the cup's steady warmth, the sound of the steam's sigh. There is no need to chase after something more. The gratitude is already here, woven into the fabric of this ordinary moment. It is not about what is lacking, but about seeing what is already present and sufficient. Worry fades because we are no longer focused on what might go wrong, but on the quiet miracle of what is right here, right now. Now, take a slow breath. Let your awareness settle into your own surroundings. Notice 3 small things you are grateful for in this moment. It might be the sound of birds outside, the comfort of your clothes, the simple fact that you are breathing. Feel the warmth of this gratitude in your body. Perhaps a softening in your shoulders, a lightness in your chest. Let it wash over you like sunlight. This is the practice, not to add something new, but to uncover what has always been there. The worry dissolves not because we ignore it, but because we remember the abundance that surrounds us, moment by moment. This natural response to stress, this gentle shift toward gratitude, is the bridge to the next practice. When discomfort arises, we no longer react with tension, but rest in the stillness we've cultivated. We see the present moment clearly, without distortion, and respond with awareness, not anxiety. The warmth of gratitude becomes our steady guide, making it easy to meet each moment with grace. As we move forward, this quiet awareness will carry us through life's inevitable currents, reminding us that peace is not found in the absence of difficulty, but in the full presence of what is. Imagine the quiet ease of gratitude settling in your bones, a warmth from noticing the ordinary gifts of this very moment. Now, when life's currents stir and stress begins to rise like a wave, remember this: the wave is not the ocean. It is a signal, not a command. When tension tightens your shoulders or a thought spins worry, pause. Not a hard stop, but a gentle softening, a breath held in the space between the thought and the reaction. Ask softly, not urgently, what do I need right now? Not what the situation demands, but what your present body and mind truly require to return to balance. This is the heart of mindful response. It is not about forcing calm or ignoring the discomfort. It is about stepping out of the automatic whirlwind of reaction and stepping into the spacious ground of presence. You might feel the tightness in your chest, the urgency in your mind. Instead of meeting it with another layer of anxiety, you simply acknowledge, this is stress. And then, with gentle curiosity, you ask, what do I need? The answer might be as simple as a single deep breath, a moment to stand still, a sip of water, or the quiet permission to simply feel without judgment. You respond from that place of presence, not from the old habit of reacting with fear or frustration. The stress itself transforms. It is no longer an enemy to fight, but a gentle bell reminding you to return, to anchor yourself here, now, in the only place you ever truly are. Consider the old Zen story of the monk who dropped his bowl. It shattered on the stone path. His companion, seeing the broken pieces, simply said, "It is broken." The monk, instead of flinching or blaming himself, looked at the shards, then at the clear sky above, and sighed with quiet acceptance. He did not react with anger or despair. He met the brokenness with presence. He saw the bowl was broken, and that was simply the truth of the moment. He did not add the story of, "I am clumsy" or "this ruins everything." He simply returned to the present, to the sky, to the quiet space between the pieces. His response was not from reaction, but from the deep calm of being fully here with what was. That is the grace we cultivate. So when your own bowl feels like it might shatter, when the stress triggers rise, pause. Feel the physical sensation without judgment. Ask gently, what do I need right now? And then, simply meet that need with the quiet grace of presence. It might be a breath, a moment of silence, a touch of your own hand on your heart. It is not about fixing the stress, but about meeting it with an open heart. The stress does not vanish, but its power to pull you away from the present, to make you feel small and overwhelmed, dissolves. You return to the solid ground of now, where peace is not something you chase, but the natural state of being when you stop fighting the present moment. This is the practice that makes peace not a distant ideal, but the very texture of ordinary life. It is the quiet ease that arises when we stop reacting to the storm and simply stand within the calm center of it, knowing that the storm is not who we are. Mindful responses to stress make it easy to find peace in ordinary life, not by avoiding the storm, but by remembering the stillness within it. Find a quiet spot where you can sit undisturbed for just 5 minutes. Look around you, not with the urgency of seeking something grand, but with the soft curiosity of a child discovering the world for the first time. Notice the trees outside your window, their leaves turning in the gentle breeze, not resisting the wind but flowing with it. Watch the clouds move across the sky, forming and dissolving shapes without effort or complaint. Listen to the distant call of a bird, its song simple and immediate, belonging completely to this moment. This is the practice, not to think deeply, not to fix anything, but simply to be present with what is right here, right now. Nature does not worry about the next season or the passing of the day. It changes without resistance, without a single thought of this should be different. A leaf falls, a cloud drifts, a bird lands on a branch. Each movement is part of the natural flow, a seamless expression of being. There is no struggle in the wind carrying the seed, no anxiety in the river flowing towards the sea. This is the mirror we hold up to ourselves. When we observe this effortless change, we see our own resistance dissolving. We see how our worries about what might be, or what has been, are not part of the natural order of things. They are additions, like a stone thrown into a calm pond, creating ripples of disturbance where there was only stillness before. The clouds do not cling to their shape. They simply are what they are, moving through the vast sky. The trees do not fret over losing their leaves. They simply stand, rooted, accepting the season. This is not passivity, but a profound, deep peace. It is the peace of being fully present within the flow of life, without the burden of trying to control or hold on to what is already passing. When you sit with this observation, you are not just watching clouds or trees. You are feeling the quiet truth of impermanence, not as a concept to be understood, but as a gentle reality to be known in your bones. You feel the space between thoughts open up, the tightness in your shoulders soften, the constant hum of what if and why quieting to a whisper. This is the calm that is always here, beneath the surface of our busy minds, waiting to be noticed in the ordinary. You might notice the way a single ray of sunlight touches a leaf, illuminating its veins for just a moment before the cloud moves on. That moment is complete. It was not better or worse because it was brief. It simply was. This is the peace we seek. It is not found in some distant future or in the absence of change, but in the very heart of the change itself, in the ability to see it clearly without grasping. The worry dissolves not because the problem disappears, but because you see clearly that your reaction to it is the true source of suffering. You see the cloud, you see the tree, you see yourself within this vast, changing moment, and you are simply here, as you are. This gentle observation, this 5 minutes of watching the sky, the trees, the passing life, becomes a doorway. It shows us that peace is not something we must chase into the mountains or seek in a special place. It is already present, woven into the fabric of the ordinary. The simple act of seeing what is right before us. The calm you find in watching the cloud drift is the same calm that can be carried into the next moment, into the simple act of washing the dishes, into the quiet focus of sweeping the floor. The natural world, in its endless, effortless change, offers us a perfect example to be like the tree, rooted and open, like the cloud, flowing without resistance, like the bird, singing its simple song in the present as the cloud drifts across the sky. So can we carry this quiet awareness into the ordinary work of the day, finding peace not in escaping the moment, but in fully inhabiting it. As you finish washing the dishes, notice how the quiet calm you carried from observing the sky now settles deeper within you. This is the natural unfolding of peace, not something you chase, but something that arises when you simply allow yourself to be here, fully present with what is. The monk who saw the sky above saw it not as a distraction but as an anchor, a reminder that the present moment is already whole. Now, as you stand at the sink, the water flows, the dishes are clean, and the worry about what comes next dissolves. This is not merely cleaning, it is a gentle practice of presence, a way to meet life as it is, without resistance. Let the task itself become your guide. Feel the cool water against your skin as you hold a plate. Hear the soft scrape of a brush against porcelain. Notice the warmth of the soap, the slight slip of a glass in your hands. Do not think about the next chore on your list or the errand you must run later. There is only this moment, this sensation, this simple act of cleaning. When your mind drifts to the to-do list, gently return to the feeling of water, the sound of rinsing, the sight of bubbles forming. You are not performing a task to finish it. You are being with the task, fully and without judgment. This is how the ordinary becomes sacred. The act of washing dishes, sweeping the floor, or folding laundry transforms from a burden into a meditation when you let go of the need to hurry, to complete, to be anywhere else but here. The monk who washed his bowl in the river did not think of the next meal. He simply washed it, feeling the water, the stone, the movement. In that simplicity, there was no room for worry, only the quiet awareness of the present. You may find your mind resisting this simplicity, calling it boring or pointless. But this resistance is the very thing that pulls you away from peace. Instead, invite curiosity. What does the water feel like today? How does the brush move across the surface? Where does your body feel the weight of the task? The sensations themselves are not separate from you. They are your direct experience of being alive right now. When you notice the mind trying to escape, you are already present. You don't need to force calm. You simply need to stop pushing it away. Let the chore be your teacher, showing you that peace is not found in the absence of tasks, but in the full attention you bring to them. The dishcloth, the broom, the empty sink, they are all invitations to return to yourself. As you wash the last plate, feel the warmth of the water on your hands, the quiet rhythm of your breath. Notice how the worry has not vanished, but it has softened, made small by the sheer presence of this moment. You are not avoiding the ordinary, you are embracing it, finding the profound within the simple. The calm you sought is not out there in some distant place. It is here, in the space between your awareness and the task, in the quiet space you create by letting go of what must be done and simply being. This is the practice. This is the peace that arises not from stilling the mind, but from joining it with the flow of the moment, just as the river joins with the stone. As you step away from the sink, the calm lingers, not as a thought, but as a deep knowing. It is a gentle preparation, a quiet readiness for the next moment that will come, whether it is waiting for a call or sitting in stillness. The ordinary has become your sanctuary, and the practice of presence is now a part of your breath, ready for whatever comes next. You stand at the bus stop, the familiar rhythm of waiting settling around you once more. The city hums softly, a low current beneath the quiet. You notice the damp concrete beneath your feet, the way raindrops trace paths down the bus shelter's glass, the distant sound of a bicycle bell. This is the ordinary moment you've stepped into, not the destination you've been chasing. The breath is always here, steady and gentle, a quiet anchor beneath the surface of thought. You inhale the cool air, exhale the tightness in your shoulders, and simply notice. The rain falls without hurry. The bus shelter holds you without judgment. The world continues its effortless flow. There is no need to speed up, to force the bus to come. to wrestle with the waiting itself. You breathe. You are here, and that is enough. This is the practice of mindful waiting. It is not about waiting for something else to happen, but about meeting what is happening now. You notice the environment without naming it good or bad. The rain is just rain. The delay is just a pause. The bus hasn't arrived, and that is perfectly fine. You feel the texture of your coat against your skin. Hear the gentle rhythm of your own breath. See the way light catches the water on the pavement. The frustration that usually builds, this feeling of time stolen, of being stuck, simply dissolves when you stop fighting the present moment. You aren't waiting for the bus. You are simply waiting, fully present in the space between one moment and the next. The ordinary becomes extraordinary because you are truly here, not lost in the story of how long it will take. This small shift transforms the entire experience. What was once a source of tension, standing still, feeling time slip away, becomes a gentle invitation to rest. You notice the quiet beauty of the rain, the way a bird flits through the trees, the soft sound of your own breath. The bus may be late, but you are not late. You are exactly where you need to be, in this moment, with this breath. There is no need to add the weight of worry to the weight of waiting. The calm isn't found later. When the bus finally arrives, it is found right here, in the space where you stop resisting and begin to simply be. The waiting itself becomes the destination, a moment of deep peace discovered in the simplicity of being present. This is the quiet wisdom of the ordinary. It is not about grand gestures or special places. It is about washing dishes with full attention, walking to work without rushing, or waiting for a bus with the same gentle awareness. When we stop seeing these moments as obstacles to be overcome, we begin to see them as the very ground of peace. We realize that peace isn't something we seek outside of life. It is the natural state of being when we stop pushing against what is. The breath guides us. The environment holds us. And the simple act of noticing becomes a bridge to calm. The worry about what comes next dissolves when we are fully here, now. This calm isn't fleeting. It becomes a steady presence, a quiet knowing that we are safe, we are whole, exactly as we are in this ordinary, perfect moment. And so we carry this calm forward, not as a destination, but as a way of being. The bus arrives, or it doesn't, but the peace remains, woven into the fabric of the ordinary. Notice how the steam rises from your coffee cup on the next walk, how the light falls softly on a leaf, how the simple act of breathing becomes a gentle anchor. This mindful waiting makes it natural to appreciate these small, quiet gifts of the present, guiding us effortlessly into the final integration where every moment becomes a doorway to peace. In this ordinary moment, as you breathe, notice how the simple act of being here already holds peace. You don't need to chase it or create a special occasion for it. The peace is already here, in the quiet space between thoughts, in the gentle rhythm of your breath. It's not found in some distant future or in fixing what feels incomplete. It's found right here, in the fullness of this very breath, this very moment. Pause now, not to escape, but to truly taste. Feel the warmth of a cup of tea in your hands, not just as heat, but as a quiet gift. Feel how it spreads through your palms, how it settles in your chest, how it softens the edges of your mind. That warmth isn't just in your hands, it's in your heart, too. It's a simple pleasure, offered freely by this moment, asking only that you receive it fully. A smile from a stranger, the soft light of afternoon on your skin, the sound of leaves moving gently outside your window. These are not distractions from life. They are life itself, given to you as a gift right now. This is the heart of mindful appreciation. It's not about adding more to your day, but about dropping the layers of worry that cloud your perception. When you savor the warmth of your tea, you aren't thinking about the next task, the past mistake, or the future uncertainty. You are fully present, feeling the heat, the taste, the quiet joy of simply being here. The steam rising from the cup becomes a mirror for your own breath, showing you how fleeting and precious this moment truly is. It's not a grand revelation, but a gentle return to what is already true. The ordinary is sacred when we pay attention. Let this sink in. Feel your body resting in the chair, the weight of it a quiet anchor. Feel the air on your skin, the sound of silence around you. Notice how the worry that often clings to you like a shadow begins to soften, not by forcing it away, but by filling your awareness with the simple, undeniable reality of now. The sun on your face isn't a distraction, it's the truth. The warmth in your hands isn't an interruption, it's the path. When you fully inhabit these small gifts, you realize they are never truly small. They are the very fabric of peace, woven into the ordinary threads of your life. This is how the mind releases its grip on anxiety. Not by fighting the worry, but by filling the space it occupies with the tangible beauty of what is. The cup in your hands, the light on the wall, the quiet hum of the world outside, these are not just moments to endure. They are the very ground upon which peace is built. One simple, felt moment at a time. You don't need to wait for a quiet room or a perfect day. You only need to pause, to savor, to feel the warmth in your heart as it meets the warmth in your hands. When you truly taste this moment, worry dissolves not through effort, but through the natural unfolding of your attention. It dissolves because you are no longer chasing something else. You are exactly where you need to be, feeling the ordinary become extraordinary, not by changing it, but by seeing it clearly. This is the quiet revolution of mindfulness. In the simplest pleasure, we find the deepest peace. And as you carry this awareness forward, you step into each next ordinary moment, not with anticipation, but with the quiet certainty that peace is already here, waiting for you to feel it. As you breathe in this moment, feel the quiet space between thoughts. This is where peace lives, not in some distant future, but right here, in the ordinary rhythm of your being. Worry often begins as a whisper, a subtle tightening in the chest, a thought about what might happen. It arises naturally, like clouds gathering, but it need not take root. The practice is simple. When you notice that whisper of worry, gently acknowledge it without judgment, then softly return to the breath, the sound of the wind, the feeling of your feet on the floor. This is the daily choice we make, not a grand achievement, but a quiet return, again and again, to the only place where life truly happens, the present. Imagine a monk tending a single, small plant in a courtyard. He waters it with full attention, noticing the droplets on the leaves, the soft earth beneath his fingers. He does not worry about the rain that might come tomorrow or the dryness that might come next week. He simply tends to the plant before him with care and presence. This is not escape, it is engagement. He finds peace not by avoiding the uncertainty of weather, but by fully inhabiting the task at hand. His calm is not the absence of worry, but the presence of attention. This is the essence of cultivating a worry-free mindset. It is not about never feeling anxious, but about choosing in each moment to return to what is real, what is here, rather than chasing shadows of what might be. So begin your day not with a list of fears, but with a gentle intention. As you open your eyes, let your heart whisper, "I choose presence over worry." Feel the weight of your body in the bed. Hear the quiet hum of the morning. Notice the light entering the room. This small act of intention sets the tone. Later, when a worry arises, a thought about a meeting, a conversation, a problem, pause. Let the worry be there like a passing bird. Then turn your attention back to the solid ground of your breath, the warmth of your hands, the sound of your own voice as you speak. Do not push it away. Simply let it drift by as you return to what is true now. This is the daily practice. It is not about reaching a state of perfect calm, but about planting seeds of awareness in the ordinary soil of your day. Each time you choose presence, you strengthen the path to peace within you. Notice how the simple act of sipping your morning tea becomes a moment of grace when you are fully there. Feel the warmth in your palms, the subtle aroma, the taste on your tongue. The steam rising from the cup is not just steam, it is a reminder of the moment's impermanence, a gentle nudge to be here. This is how worry-free living becomes natural. It is not a destination you arrive at, but the path you walk, step by mindful step, in the ordinary moments. You do not need to solve the future. You simply need to meet this moment with openness, without the weight of what is not yet here. As you carry this quiet practice into your day, notice how the ordinary becomes extraordinary. The sound of birds outside, the texture of your clothing, the rhythm of your steps all become invitations to return, to remember, to choose presence. When uncertainty appears not as a threat, but as an opening, you will meet it with calm, knowing that peace is not something you find outside yourself, but the very ground of your being, available right now. This is the natural flow of a life lived without anxiety. It is the simple, profound practice of being fully here, again and again, until the choice itself becomes your breath. As rain taps softly against the window pane, notice how the drops fall without hesitation, without fear of where they will land or what path they will take. This gentle rhythm is not a disturbance, but a natural flow, a reminder that uncertainty is woven into the very fabric of life, not a threat to be fought. It is simply the way things are. In this moment, as you sit quietly, feel the ground beneath you, the steady rise and fall of your breath, the quiet hum of the world continuing without your worry. There is no need to grasp or control the unknown. It is already part of the unfolding. Breathe in, breathe out, and gently say to yourself, I'm safe here, now. This simple phrase is not denial of difficulty, but an anchor in the present, a recognition that you are already whole and held within this moment. The river does not resist the current it cannot see. It flows with the water, trusting the path it is given. So too, when the future feels unclear, when plans shift like sand beneath your feet, you can meet that shifting, not with tightness in your chest, but with the soft openness of the river. Notice the tightness in your shoulders, the quickening of your thoughts about what might go wrong. Then, with a slow breath, soften. Let the uncertainty rest in your awareness without judgment. It is not something to be conquered, but a space where you can simply be. See how the rain continues to fall, not because it knows the destination, but because it is simply being rain. Uncertainty becomes the fertile ground where your calm can take root, where you can grow deeper into the present. There is no need to rush toward a known shore. You are already safe in the water. Feel the warmth of your breath in your nostrils, the solidity of the chair supporting you. This is not avoidance, it is full engagement with life as it is, not as you fear it might be. When you stop fighting the unknown, you free yourself to meet it with curiosity, to see it not as a shadow, but as a field of possibility. The fear that once clung to the edges of your mind begins to loosen, not because the uncertainty has vanished, but because you have stopped seeing it as an enemy. You're not lost in the mist, you are standing firmly on the earth, breathing, aware. This is the quiet strength that comes from meeting life's uncertainty, not with anxiety, but with the deep, unshakable peace of presence. You are not waiting for the storm to pass to be at peace. You are finding peace within the very heart of the shifting wind. This gentle holding of uncertainty, this soft breathing into the unknown, is how you step fully into the life you have been living all along. It is the practice that turns the ordinary moment, the rain on the window, the breath in your lungs, into a profound sanctuary. This gentle holding of uncertainty prepares you to live fully in the present without fear. Consider the quiet space between your breaths, the soft pause before the next thought arises. In this stillness, we find the ground from which all true action springs. Too often, we move through life caught in the grip of future worries or past regrets, mistaking these mental currents for reality. But the moment we truly arrive here, now we discover a profound freedom. It begins with a simple shift. Instead of asking, "What if this goes wrong?" or "How will I handle that?" we ask, "What does this moment need?" This question, asked with open awareness, dissolves the need to control outcomes. It releases us from the exhausting effort to force life into a shape it was never meant to take. Imagine a monk walking beside a swift river. The current pulls at the water's surface, swirling leaves and branches. His path leads across a narrow stone bridge. If he stands at the edge, straining to hold the water still or to predict every ripple, he will never cross. He simply steps onto the first stone, feels the cool surface beneath his feet, notices the sound of the water flowing, and takes the next step. He does not resist the river's flow. He moves within it, guided by the immediate needs of his feet and his balance. This is not passivity, it is deep engagement. The river flows as it must. His task is to be present for the step he is taking, not the step he imagines might come. He meets the current without fear because his attention is anchored in the solid reality of where he stands, not in the imagined chaos of where he might fall. This is the essence of living fully without fear. So, what does this moment need? Perhaps it needs your full attention to the sound of rain on the window. Perhaps it needs you to place one hand gently on your heart, feeling its steady rhythm. Perhaps it simply needs you to breathe deeply and slowly, releasing any tension held in the shoulders. There is no grand action required. There is only this breath, this sensation, this place. When we stop trying to manage the entire river and simply meet the stone beneath our feet, we find courage not as a force against fear, but as the natural state of being fully present. We stop seeing the present as a place to escape from and begin seeing it as the only place where life is actually happening. The fear of losing control vanishes when we realize we were never meant to control the river in the first place. We are part of its flow. This is not a fleeting feeling, but a way of being. It is the quiet strength that arises when we stop fighting the current of life and instead move within it with awareness. It is the deep peace that comes from knowing that we do not need to hold the entire sky in our hands. We only need to tend to the seed planted in the soil of this very moment. As you sit here now, notice the weight of your body in the chair, the soft light in the room, the gentle rise and fall of your chest. This is not a distraction from life. It is life itself, fully lived. There is no need to reach for something more or to fear what might come next. The moment you are in is already complete, already holding everything it needs for you to be here. Now, with courage. Living fully without fear makes it possible to sustain peace through consistent practice. It transforms the abstract idea of presence into a tangible, daily rhythm. This is how we step across the bridge, one mindful step at a time, finding freedom not in the absence of uncertainty, but in the courage to meet it exactly as it is, right here, right now. Feel the quiet space between your breaths right now. This is where peace begins, not as a distant goal, but as the natural ground beneath your feet. You've already learned to hold uncertainty with gentle ease and to meet each moment without grasping for control. Now, we move deeper into the practice that makes this peace not just a passing feeling, but your truest state of being. It requires no grand effort, only the simple, consistent turning of your attention toward the present, even for a few moments each day. Sit quietly for 5 minutes. Notice the rise and fall of your breath. Listen to the sounds around you without labeling them as good or bad. Let your awareness rest softly on the feeling of your body in the chair, the temperature of the air. This is not about emptying the mind, but about gently returning to what is here, now, without judgment. Do this daily, not as a task to complete, but as a quiet return to yourself. Imagine making tea in the morning. The water boils. The kettle sings softly. You pour the hot water over the leaves. You watch the steam rise in the quiet kitchen. For a few moments, you're not thinking about tomorrow's meeting or yesterday's conversation. You are simply noticing the warmth of the cup in your hands, the rich scent filling the air, the way the leaves swirl in the water. This is the moment of peace you cultivate through practice. It is not a special event reserved for rare moments of stillness. It is the ordinary, unremarkable awareness that becomes your way of being. As you practice this small return to presence each day, something remarkable happens. The constant background hum of worry begins to soften. It does not vanish in a single moment, but it loses its power, its grip. You notice that peace is not something you must create. It is already here, waiting beneath the surface of your thoughts. The more you return to this simple awareness, the more it becomes your natural state, like the sky becoming clear after the rain has passed. This is the gentle truth of sustained practice. It is not about achieving a perfect stillness, but about recognizing that the peace you seek is already present within the flow of your ordinary life. When you practice mindfulness daily, even for 5 minutes, you're not fighting worry. You are simply shifting your attention away from the future's shadows and into the clarity of this moment. You begin to see worry not as a fixed thing, but as a passing cloud in the vast sky of your awareness. With consistent practice, the roots of anxiety weaken. It dissolves not through force, but through the quiet, persistent recognition of what is true right now. You notice how the mind, when given the space to rest, naturally settles into calm. The frantic energy of worry fades, replaced by a deep, steady sense of being. This is how peace sustains itself. It becomes the foundation, not the destination. So take this moment, right now, to feel the peace that is already here. Breathe in. Feel the air. Breathe out. Feel the stillness. This is not a temporary escape. It is the way you live. The practice is the path, and the path is the destination. Sustaining peace through practice is the ultimate end of worry.